7 and 15. We'll go there.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 15.
Go ahead.
But if the unbelief...
Wait, are we live? Okay, all right. Shalom, Israel?
Shalom!
All right, so the question is, once again for everybody online, let's bring them in. What was it again?
What do you say to a young woman who husband left before a child was born and has not thought about coming back for 4 years now?
He left.
Right?
And you don't want to come back.
Con.
1 Corinthians 7:15.
1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 15.
Uh-huh.
But if the unbelieving depart.
Right? So the unbelieving is, I ain't hearing that we're together thing. I'm not hearing that we're married. I'm not abiding by that rule, standard, and law. Right? They're the unbelievers.
Right.
Right? They're going to go, male or female, leave when the Most High said, wait a minute, the husband couldn't leave the wife just for anything, and the wife couldn't leave the husband, right? Unless he's dead. Okay? So they don't abide by that law. Go ahead.
Let him depart.
Let him depart. Right? Go ahead.
A brother or a sister.
There you go. Male or female. Go ahead.
Is not under bondage in such cases.
Meaning that if somebody leaves, what are you going to do? No, Yahweh said, stay with me. Put a gun to their head. You let them go. Nobody's in bondage in that case. You can't fault the believer and say, well, you know, it's your fault. The other person didn't want to continue to marry in and to work to this marriage. Right? That's what the scripture shows. What is he quoting? He's quoting Deuteronomy. He's quoting divorce. Right? They gave him a bill of divorcement. Right? Now, yeah, it might not be the right way, but they literally divorced this individual. Right? And you said they didn't want to come back. They didn't want to hear that. There's what you have. Right? Yeah. What's your head at with it?
I agree.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, the other one is the Deuteronomy. And y'all scholars know these because we be in this all the time. Go to Deuteronomy. Go to Deuteronomy. Divorce. It is 24. Yeah, that's what I was.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1.
Go ahead.
When a man hath taken a wife
Right.
and married her,
Right.
and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes,
Right.
because he hath found some uncleanness in her.
Right. So
Possible.
see, and that's what we don't know. You don't know the true story. One thing I know about relationships, for a fact, there's his truth, her truth, and the truth. Right? Everybody got their side of the story. And unless you do like the gospel says, get them in the same spot and counsel with them, you're never going to really hear that. You're only hearing one-sided. Oh, he was this guy, he was this. Or she was wicked, she was off. Little did you know, he was doing foul stuff. Little did you know, she was doing foul stuff. The fact is, you won't know until you get them both in a council, sit them down, and start bringing these things out. But this is for the ones that abide by the law, right? Even in the law, we know Christ said, because the hardness of your heart, Moses gave us this law. And I always remind Israel, from the beginning it was not so. Yes, you should want to be with that woman forever. But a lot of times, you didn't do it right. Right? You did it out of lust, and what happened? It was out of fornication, and the Most High ain't dealing with a body of fornication. Right. And it never lasts, right? So the question is now, I know Christ said it. He said it, right? From the beginning it wasn't so, right? But are we still in this time to where it's perfect and a lot of these marriages are blessed with the Spirit of the Lord, with the laws and commandments of the Most High? No, we're not in that time. So what do you have? You have the law to deal with. That's why you do have the bill of divorce. Go ahead.
Then let him write her a bill of divorce and give it in her hand.
Right. So let him write her the bill of divorce and give it in her hand. Go ahead.
And send her out of his house.
Right. So, see, you might be the new guy. I'm not saying you are. I'm giving a what if or it can't happen. You might be the new guy, and then she's telling you a one-sided story. He was an animal. He was a big-lipped beast. Right? He did this, he did that. But you're not telling what you did. You're not telling that it was a two-way street and you drove each other apart. Right? So you do have this, what the Most High said, the divorce paper, right? The divorcement, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I can't hear him. I can't hear his side of the story.
Right.
Right. But I'm hearing you, and I'm seeing how you have a headstrongness about you.
Right.
Right. You can
already see what's up.
You can already see. You sensing you look like you, or you sound like you're accepting the word, right? But you come with, but I know what I know what you mean, or I understand what you're saying.
But there's a but.
There's a but.
Right.
And then there's a pray that, and I see it's a battle. That's why she had the question, and she has other questions as well. Mm-hmm. But here's the second part of that. What was the second part of that? He didn't divorce. Like she went and filed and filed for divorce. So same.
Right. I mean, his divorcement was, I'm packing my bags and I'm out of here. Right.
Right.
It wasn't the paper, but it was known that I do not want to be with you anymore.
Come.
Right.
Yeah, that's heavy.
Exactly. But good point, and I'm not going to drive too much into it. This is why. See, if you I don't know what's going on, but if you try to jump into this situation without really unfolding all that mentality and asking all those questions, then you, and being able to test the waters, prove a friend, then what's going to happen is all of that stuff is going to come out within your relationship, and then it's going to be like, wait a minute, now I know why he didn't get with you, or he left, because you're hard-headed, you're stubborn, right? You're rebellious. You don't really believe in the Most High, right? Yeah, I see that on your car bumpers, your bumper sticker. Jesus first, right? Christ first, but in reality, it's not about the Most High. Right. So that's why it's important for us to prove a friend before. Would it say know that it's good ground before you even engage in that land?
Yes, sir.
Right. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
Sir.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions before we go into tonight's class? On anything? Live? Okay. Nothing online? Okay, so if nobody got anything, we're going to go into this topic. This was a question that I've been holding off on because I think it's probably going to be a 2-part class. But I'm going to go over the basics for the sister, LaShawn. It's been a while. She asked us a long time ago. I've been putting it off for the other questions. And, when it comes to the Quran, and it comes to the Bible, I think, with me, the answer, it's already answered. Is it the Bible? No. All right. I ain't got nothing to talk about, right? The end. Is Muhammad in the Bible? No. Okay, so why do I gotta engage with you or even engage about this when it comes to the Quran? Well, I think the fact is because you got a lot of our people thinking that the Quran has validity. Like me, okay. Leave that to the Arabs. But so be it, right? I don't got nothing to say about that really. But I know the fact is that we gotta have the gospel, gotta get edification on these topics, right? But if you didn't know, first thing, when was the Bible written? Okay, how about this? The Dead Sea Scrolls that the Bible comes from, right? They found the scrolls, and in these scrolls you got the Hebrew, right? When was that written? This is just one like why are we even talking about this subject? Who gives a damn about the Quran? Who cares about the Arabs' religion? Who cares about the dang Africans' religion? Who cares about any of these religions? You know what I mean? It ain't our God. We serve the one true God. So I don't care about, I don't even want to put energy into this topic, really. But when was the Bible written? Right? Or they found it 2,000 years ago. The Dead Sea Scrolls were first found. They were found in 1947 and 1956. Right? Okay, but what does, and this is just Esau's technology, right? We don't go by that all the time. We definitely always question their carbon dating, right? Like, it's garbage. But they got here the 3rd century BCE, right? That's 2,000 years ago, y'all. 2,000 years ago. When was the Quran written? What?
Like 600 AD?
The Quran was written in 632. 632. So you got, which was, how many years after the Bible? You talking about what? 1,500 years? 1,500 years after. The Quran wasn't compiled till after Muhammad died 23 years later. Like, bruh, the Bible was written way back. First of all, remember, we're going off of what Esau tells us on their little carbon dating, right? 2,000 years ago. Come on, we know that the Most High, when they talk about, what's the word? When they verbally, oral tradition. You talk about oral tradition goes all the way back to Adam. Right? Moses ended up writing it down. So once again, for all the people, this conversation about the Quran or the Bible, I'm sorry I'm like this, but who gives a damn? The Bible was written way before the Quran. Who gives a damn? But I guess we got to go over the topic, right? 2,000 years ago. And we know the Bible was separated into 2 parts. But you have to see that this is and when you read the Quran and when you get into the Quran, and that I said this is going to be a 2-part class because the second part would probably go into the Quran and go into those verses everybody knows, should know by now. But for the ones that ask the question, they don't know, right? So let's start at the beginning. Let's go to Genesis 16 and 1. Let's go to Genesis 16 and 1. And so this is how I wrote this down. The first point, at what time, anywhere in the Bible, did the Most High call Muhammad the messenger? At what time in the Bible did the Most High say Ishmael, right, was the chosen, or was going to be the people that shares the word of the Most High? These are just questions that if y'all write down, when it comes to this topic, you can be like, yeah, that's nowhere. So when I'm talking about, like, why are we even talking about this? Like, it literally doesn't matter. Because the Most High never spoke. That's like me coming up and saying, you know what? I'm a holy prophet. The angel Gabriel came to me last week when I was making my eggs, and he anointed me for the next generation to subdue and teach the world. There's only one God, and his prophet is Kazaki. You'd be like, Negro, please. Well, that's what Muhammad did. That's all he did. And he did it with bloodshed. He did it with conquering a long time. So, we're going to go over a lot in here. I'm just throwing I want to throw some things out to give y'all, for y'all brains to say, wait a minute, like, why does this even matter? Because it doesn't. Right. We're Hebrew Israelites. We're not Arabic. We're not African. Right? We're not blacks. We're not Hispanics. Right? We're not. So what does these things got to do with us? Like, why do we got to speak on them? Why do we got to even vouch for this or talk about it? You know what I mean? So when somebody comes to me, I'm like, that ain't got nothing to do with us. Let the Arabs have their Arabic belief, right? Until Christ come back. Right? So that, like I said, those are just some things that you should ask yourself. So going into this Genesis 16 and 1, let's read this.
Genesis chapter 16 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
Now Sarai, Abram's wife,
right,
bare him no children,
right,
and she had an handmaid, an Egyptian.
Right. So this was a heathen woman, right? Because Abram was a Hebrew. This was a woman of another nation. Okay. His rib couldn't have a child, so the handmaid stepped in to have the child. Now, the nationality, technically, his child is still a what?
Israelite.
Hebrew. Not Israelite, because the Israelites weren't there yet.
Hebrew.
It's a trick question when you ask that. He's not an Israelite. Abraham was a Hebrew. Right? Right. He was a Shemite. He was a Hebrew Shemite, right? If you would. All right, go ahead.
Whose name was Hagar.
Right.
And Sarai said unto Abram.
Right. So Egyptians come from who? Ham. Right. They come from Ham. They're Hamitic. Go ahead.
And Sarai said unto Abram, Behold now, the Most High hath restrained me from bearing.
Right. Because Sarah knew what? That it ain't got nothing to do with my body. It's the Most High controls all these things. If he don't want a woman to have a baby, he can restrict her bowels from having a baby. He opens up the womb. He closes the womb. So, if you have problems with that, you got to do like Sarah. Go to the Most High. Right? And the wisdom will come to you to how to open up your womb and know how to do that. Go ahead.
I pray thee, go in unto my maid,
right,
it may be that I may obtain children.
Go in unto her means what? Have sex with her, have relations with her. Go ahead.
It may be that I may obtain children by her.
Go ahead.
And Abram hearkened to the voice of Sarai. And Sarai, Abram's wife.
See, back in these days, it was a glory to honor your husband with children. Yeah. Right? It was a glory. It was an honor to do that. And that's what she worried about when it says in the New Testament, like Sarah, who called Abraham Lord, she had her husband in high regard. She had to walk with him and to be a faithful woman and to be with a man of faith. She had to hold him in a high regard. So when it says in the New Testament she called him Lord, is because she had high respect for her husband. And in these times, for this man, let me say that, for the righteous man, the Most High had given him a righteous woman, right? To honor him. Go ahead.
And Sarai, Abram's wife, took Hagar, her maid, the Egyptian,
right,
after Abram had dwelt 10 years in the land of Canaan.
Go ahead.
And gave her to her husband, Abram, to be his wife. And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes.
Right. Her mistress was despised in her eyes. Read that again. What verse you at?
Verse 4.
Read that one more time.
And he went in unto Hagar, and she conceived. And when she saw that she had conceived, her mistress was despised in her eyes.
Right. So what is that saying? What?
So since Hagar had the child, she was trying to like boast, like, "Oh yeah, I got the child." To Sarah.
Right. She, shrug her shoulders and boast about it because you could not what? You can't have a child, right? But now remembering that I'm your Lord, right? Go ahead.
And Sarai said unto Abram, my wrong be upon thee.
Right.
I have given my maid into thy bosom.
Basically, she's saying you should check her. Right? You should have checked her. Go ahead.
And when she saw that she had conceived,
right,
I was despised in her eyes.
Right. So she's looking at Sarah like a less person now. Go ahead.
The Most High judge between me and thee.
Go ahead.
But Abram said unto Sarah, behold, thy maid is in thy hand.
Right.
Do to her as it pleaseth thee.
Right. That was his rib. The servant, she was just a bondwoman. Right. She was just a servant. So bondwomen, concubines didn't get the same status as the wife. Right? She bare his son, and I'm sure he dealt with her with a level of respect. But she did not come to the status as Sarah. Y'all see this? That's how it was supposed to be. Until Solomon, start putting these women up. And not only Solomon, though. A lot of Israelites do what? You get you a woman of another nation, you don't understand that she's a heathen. Right? And that's why the Most High is like, look, y'all don't know what y'all doing. Don't deal with none of these women. Because why? These women going to take your heart away. They're going to have you worshiping other gods. Right?
Treat them better than Israel.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what's going to happen. Who just had their hand? Yeah.
So this explains how Ishmael didn't have any inheritance to, he wasn't the chosen.
We're going into that. We're going to read all that. Right, because we can't skip this part when it comes to the Ishmael, the Muslims, right? It's all here in 16 and 17. So we can't miss this. Go ahead.
And when Sarai dealt hardly with her, she fled from her face.
Go ahead.
And the angel of the Most High found her by a fountain of water in the wilderness, by the fountain of the way to Shur. And he said, Hagar, Sarai's maid, whence camest thou? And whither wilt thou go? And she said, I flee from the face of my mistress Sarai. And the angel of the Most High said unto her, return to thy mistress, and submit thyself unto her hand.
Check that out. The angel is what? Checking her for Sarah and Abraham. No, you're going to go submit. You're going to go follow. Why? Because this is all for a reason. Go ahead.
And the angel of the Most High said unto her,
Go ahead.
I will multiply thy seed exceedingly.
Right. So this is where Ishmael, the Ishmaelites boast. They boast at this point. Look, we were going to be a great people. And when you look at them, and we're going to go into it. I'm jumping a little bit. But they are great people, right? What?
I don't want to jump.
Yeah, I'm jumping myself. Go ahead, read on.
That it shall not be numbered for multitudes.
Go ahead.
And the angel of the Most High said unto her, Behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shall call his name Ishmael.
Well, there you go. So go to your Zonovan and let's look up Ishmael or Ishmaelites. So Ishmael is the father of the Arabs, is the Arabic people. Right? Their mama was a Hamite. Their dad was a Hebrew. Right? So, yeah, family, right? But the Most High didn't set it up like that. We all come from Adam. A lot of nations come out of Abraham, but the Most High still chose Israel above all nations. Right? So, Ishmael, what you got?
Ishmaelite.
Uh-huh.
A descendant of Ishmael,
Uh-huh.
the son of Abraham, and Hagar.
Right?
I'm going to get to the point. It said they lived in camps in the desert of northern Arabia.
Right. See, they lived in camps in the northern Arabia. Why? Because they are the Arabians. Right? The Arabs. Go ahead.
Though occasionally some of them settled down as Nabateans.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly, however, they lived like Ishmael.
Right. Go ahead.
A wild man.
Right. A wild man. Right. And that's what we're understanding about the Arab people. So when we go to the 18 nations, I guess this one's easy because it tells you. Hold that. Let's go to the one I didn't get that one, but let's go there too. Let's go to the scriptures to show you that who these people are. Go to Galatians. It's Galatians 4, I think it is.
4 and 24.
4 and what?
24.
Go ahead. Get that one real quick. Just to show us, remember, this is for new brothers and sisters that the sister LaShawn is asking this question. But it's for all of us because a lot of times, man, a lot of us don't know how to get over this this conversation when it comes to the Quran or the Bible, right? What it means to be a Muslim and what it is to be an Israelite. First of all, we don't have a religion. We never had a religion, right? The only ones that of our people that had religions is when you went off and you served other nations, right? Other than that, we always believed in the one true God, right? So Ishmael is the Arabians, the Arabs. Where are you at? Read 4 and 24.
Galatians chapter 4, verse 24.
Go ahead.
Which things are an allegory.
Uh-huh.
For these are the two covenants.
Right. Go ahead.
The one from Mount Sinai, which gendereth to bondage.
Right. Talking about who?
Which is of God.
Which is Hagar. So Hagar genders to bondage. Right? That's what their nation refers to. It goes back to your mom was a what? A bondwoman. Right? That's what type of, that's their ancestry. So check that out. You know, before their great men came up and conquered, right? It goes back to what? Your mom was a slave. Right? Go ahead.
For this Hagar is Mount Sinai in Arabia.
See? Is in Arabia. So even the Bible tells you what? The Ishmaelites, the people that came from Hagar, were Arabians, Arabs. So that's who these people are, right? Okay, go back. Let's go back.
Verse 11,
Uh-huh.
last precept. And shall call his name Ishmael,
Right?
because the Most High hath heard thy affliction.
Uh-huh.
And he will be a wild man.
Right, and he will be a wild man. What does that mean? When you look at the Arabs, right, their belief is this is a book called Satan's Angels Exposed. And it goes into it's sort of like a little bit of this Babylon the Timbuktu. But what's the other book? The Two Babylons?
From Babylon.
And what's the other one?
From Babylon to Timbuktu.
No. You got the Two Babylons, you got the Babylon Timbuktu, you got the other one that goes into different holidays. Y'all remember the name of that one? I forgot the name of it. But it's sort of like that. It goes into different historical accounts of where, religions and things where they come from. It goes into Christmas and things of that nature. It goes into, I think, a little bit of Halloween and Easter, all that, occults and stuff like that. But in here, he goes into the Arabs. He goes into the Muslims. I do want you to read it, but I'm trying to find. What did we just read?
God. And he was a wild man.
Right. Right, and he was a wild man. He was a wild man. I was going to get something in here. Oh my gosh. Now, I was going to get something in here about the... Oh, yeah, the fossilized customs. There you go. The fossilized customs. But no, there was one thing I was going to get here on the wild man. It slipped my mind. Sorry, y'all. It'll come back to me. But we know the wild man is Allah Akbar. I'm going to blow everything up. Oh, that's what it was. I got it. It was, they believe that when you die, you're going to get 75 virgins.
Isn't that boys?
Oh, wow. He said, you're going to get 75 virgins, and you're going to go to heaven. Oh, this is Muhammad's idea of heaven. Remember, everything that Muhammad dropped and everything that he gave to our people was based on an angel came to him and gave him these revelations. Right? So he wrote it down. It was supposed to be like a knockoff Moses. But the Quran is badly written. I started listening to that the other day. I was like, this is garbage. Right, I got to like the first chapter, second. I'm like, this is real trash, because I know we're gonna get hate mail and all that, right? But it literally is a knockoff version of the scriptures and not articulate as the scriptures. That's what it sounds like, and I'm like, these cats really believe this, but they had nothing else to believe, right? I was looking at here. I was trying to find the point in here about the 75 virgins. What's that, Al?
I was gonna say, like, he couldn't even read or write.
Yeah.
Yeah, other people writing it. And I tried to read it too, and it was making my brain hurt. So. I'm trying to study it so I can get some precepts.
Right, you want to get some precepts out of it? I was like, nah, I downloaded the audio book, and I was like listening to it, and I was like, this is not like, you can tell a man wrote it. You can tell a man wrote it, and if you want to be facetious about it, yeah, it doesn't sound intelligent. it sounds like you just, I'm going to reword the scriptures. You know how when we paraphrase the scripture badly? Oh man, I didn't really think I was gonna need that, so I didn't write it down here. But yeah, it said they hold on. Oh man. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. But I was trying to bring that out, this point about the 75 virgins. When you think of a wild man, you really think you go into the spiritual realm and you're going to go ahead and have 75 virgins. That's no different than the Vikings. The Vikings believe what? You're going to go to Valhalla and you're going to sit there and drink, you know what I mean, in Valhalla. Not knowing in the spiritual realm, they need to eat or drink it. Like the food in the spiritual realm ain't the same thing as food here. You're thinking about drinking ale in the spiritual realm. But yeah, you chill Odin's son, right? All these different gods, man. But yeah, here, look for it, Doc, so I can go on because, man, it's between either this page or this page. Somewhere over here, maybe. Yeah, I didn't even think I was gonna need it, but yeah, that's what it means to them that heaven is. I'm gonna get all these virgins, right? So it's easy for them to die. It's easy for them to kill themselves. And I know this. You know the second part when we start getting into the Quran and all that. You know one thing I did say, and I know they will argue with you on, is like, well, you don't know it. You don't know the Quran. And the truth is, none of us studied the Quran like the Bible. So you got to really be studied if you want to be fair about it, to go through it. Because they're going to go through and be like, well, that's not really what that means. You wouldn't know it unless you studied it, right? You'd just be like cats when they don't study the Bible and try to argue the Bible. You'd be like, nah, let me show you. Right? So, to be fair, but there's some points in the Quran that you can't run away from. The point I was bringing out was about the 75 virgins and all that madness is that's what makes them in this wild mind. Part of it is that they think that they're going to that there's no loss. So I can go blow myself up. So I can go kill all these people in the name of Allah and it'd be okay, right? But even in that, did y'all know their concept of Allah? Some people's concept of Allah, what it is? Anybody know what that's about? We're gonna get into that. So read on. Go to Genesis 17:1. Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 17 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And when Abram was 90 years old and 9,
right,
the Most High appeared to Abram,
right,
and said unto him, I am the Almighty Power. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
Right.
And I will make my covenant between me and thee.
Right.
And will multiply thee exceedingly.
Right. Now, the covenant was made between Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as we're going to go to.
Right.
It was never made with Ishmael. And that's what the 17th chapter is about. If anybody wanted to, when you deal with this Muslim dialogue, 16 and 17 kills it all. Right? It shows us. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on deployment with a Muslim. And we were having a discussion about, Deuteronomy 18:18, how they think that prophet was speaking about Muhammad, right? And I just kept it basic with them. I was like, there's a difference between the blessing and the covenant.
Right.
And that's what Ishmael got. He got a blessing.
Right.
Hagar got the blessing.
Right.
It wasn't the covenant between, like you said, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Right. And the thing is, the scriptures tell us that. But I just want to go through it, go through the chapter. Go ahead. Come on.
And Abram fell on his face, and the Most High talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee.
Right. My covenant's with thee. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be a father of many nations. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram.
Right.
But thy name shall be Abraham.
Go ahead.
For a father of many nations have I made thee.
Right.
And I will make thee exceeding fruitful. And I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Right. So through Abraham, many nations were going to come out of him.
Right.
And many nations were going to be kings. But I was going to make my covenant between me and thee. Right?
God.
Go ahead.
And I will establish my covenant between me and thee.
Go ahead.
And
You see how he keeps repeating that?
God.
That's why I started from the top. To show us that it was between me and you. Right? And he's going to make it clear where that covenant is where it's going to pass to. Go ahead.
And thy seed.
And what?
Thy seed.
Go ahead.
After thee.
Go ahead.
And their generations. For
Right.
an everlasting covenant.
Right. For an everlasting covenant. Well, that's Ishmael. Right? Go ahead. Read.
To be a power unto thee.
Go ahead.
And to thy seed after thee.
Go ahead.
I will give unto thee and to thy seed after thee the land wherein thou art a stranger. All the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession.
Right.
And I will be their power.
Right.
And the Most High said unto Abram, Thou shalt keep my covenants thereof. Thou and thy seed after thee in their generation.
Right. Remember, he was going to make this covenant with him and his seed. Right. Go ahead.
This is my covenant.
Right.
Which
This
ye
is the
shall
covenant. Go ahead.
which ye shall keep between me and you and thy seed after thee.
Go ahead.
Every man child among you shall be circumcised.
Right. So this is the token of the covenant. This is why we circumcise ourselves. It goes back to Abraham. Go ahead.
And ye shall circumcise the flesh of your foreskin.
Right.
And there shall be a token of the covenant betwixt me and you.
Go ahead.
And he that is 8 days old shall be circumcised among you. Every man child in your generations, he that is born in the house.
So technically, I know when you're in the hospital, they want to do it right then and there. You got to do it. You know, technically it was supposed to be 8 days, but you got to do it right then and there because they make it hell for you to do it afterwards. Brother, you don't get it done in there, they make it a whole procedure. And it's got to go past the 8 days.
Yeah.
You see?
Probably like 20-something days.
20-some days, right? You're thinking like, oh, I'm going to wait the 8 days. Nah, they're not going to do that. So the thing is, get your boy nipped right then and there when they ask you, well, do you want us to circumcise him? Yes. Go ahead.
Or bought with money of any stranger.
Go ahead.
Which is not of thy seed. He that is born in thy house, and he that is bought with thy money.
Right. So everybody around you was going to come up under this. Right? And the truth is that all nations are going to come up under the laws, the covenant. Right? We know that, which is the law was going to be in our inward part, right? But this is the beginning of this contract. He's going to make it clear. We're just going through the steps. And like I said, I wanted to do it this way because if you haven't read these 2 chapters, you don't even know anything about the Arab people, where they come from, who's their forefathers. You got to know this part. And a lot of times, Israel forgets the basics. Go ahead.
Must needs be circumcised.
Go ahead.
And my covenant shall be in your flesh.
Right.
For an everlasting covenant.
Go ahead.
And the uncircumcised man child, whose flesh of his foreskin is not circumcised, that soul shall be cut off from his people.
Right. Remember Moses read? She had to do it. Right. Thou art bloody man because he already knew what needed to be done. Right? But he didn't move on it as quick. So this circumcision was passed down to through his seed. Go ahead.
He hath broken my covenant. And the Most High said unto Abraham, as for Sarai thy wife, thou shalt not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name.
Go ahead.
And I will bless her, and give thee a son also of her. Yea, I will bless her, and she shall be a mother of nations. Kings of people shall be of her. Then Abraham fell upon his face and laughed and said in his heart.
And that's what Isaac means, right? Laughter. Abraham laughed, Sarah laughed. Because when she heard, she what? She laughed too. Right? And he laughed too. Because they're old at this time. Go ahead.
Shall a child be born unto him that is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, that is 90 years old, bear? And Abraham said unto the Most High, oh, that Ishmael might live before thee.
Right.
And the Most High said,
look, Ishmael was his firstborn. So here we go. Oh, that the Arabs might take my name, might bear this covenant. Look at what the Most High said. See, this kills it right here. That's why I said we ain't even jumped to no precepts yet. Just the story itself about where they come from can kill them. Like it's telling you here that, oh, Abraham was like, man, he's my firstborn son. Yahweh, let him live before you. Go ahead.
Verse 19.
Go ahead.
And the Most High said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son indeed. And thou shalt call his name Isaac.
Go ahead.
And I will establish my covenant with him.
With what?
With him.
With what?
With him.
See? So it didn't say Ishmael. Right? So at no time was the Most High spiritually connecting himself with the seed of the Arabs, with the Ishmaelites. This was the perfect time to say, you know what? He comes from your loins, right? You're a righteous man. Let your name be upon him. No. This was the time that he shut that down. What's that?
I got a precept.
Oh yeah, just let me go do this real quick. I know you got a lot, and if I don't got them, then y'all can have them. Go to Galatians 3 verse 16. Go to Galatians 3 and 16. So like I said, this is a basic class for the sister LaShawn and for all the other brothers and sisters that don't have it. I know Lasha Barra probably, Kirtland, she probably don't have this topic. What's the other sister? And y'all, this is probably y'all first time going over this. But this is an important topic because when it comes to the Quran, you're thinking it's a subject. Like, well, the Quran's a holy book. Well, yeah, who said that? Yeah. No, who made it holy? Right. Muhammad made it holy. See, I know I'm gonna start poking, but who made that book holy? Like the holy, pure Quran? Who? So you're trying to tell me some average Joe Schmo can just write any book and say that the angel visited him and there it is? No, the Most High never made it holy. Let's go back to what I first said. Show me in the scriptures anywhere it says there would be another book. Right? Besides what we've been getting. From Old to New Testament. I'm giving y'all little pointers like, so when they catch you on the street, you like, what are we talking about here, bro? Like, I'm not even engaging in this conversation with you because it's pointless. Like, the Most High never spoke of the Arabs or the Ishmaelites being the Lord's people, being the chosen of the Most High, being, here we go, the prophets. Right. He never said in here, anywhere in here. Right. So why we haven't even discussed this? Right? It's a book that was plagiarized from the Bible. Right? And I know I'm being insensitive, but truth in this aspect, that much more is going to be that way because that's the facts of it. Right? And by all means, you Arabs, take your book, be on your way. But this doesn't got nothing to do with us. It don't got nothing to do with us. What's that?
This is the definition of Quran.
Uh-huh.
If you go to Google, it says Quran means the thing that is recited.
Right, the thing that is recited. Well, to their case, the Quran has been recited over centuries. Right? No, the Quran only came about when Muhammad came about. Because before Muhammad was, let's go there. Check this out. This is from Babylon to Timbuktu. Yeah.
In the Quran says that Muhammad was the first Muslim.
There you go. And they know this though.
In their book.
They know that. He was the first Muslim.
Page 44 and 45, I think.
Yeah.
It talks about the him learning from the Jews.
No. I'm trying to. Let's go to. Let me see here. No, what point were we at? I'm sorry. No, what were we talking about him? What were we talking about Muhammad? Oh, no, right. So what was Muhammad doing? What was Muhammad's people doing before the Quran came about? See, this is where you can catch a lot of these cats. Go to verse 40. It's in there. Go ahead.
This is from Babylon Timbuktu by Randolph Windsor. Rudolph R. Windsor.
Randolph.
When Muhammad was born, many Arabs were still worshiping the sun, stars, spirits, and idols. The Arabs possessed 360 idols.
So don't come with this, it's been recited. What? What are you reciting? Bruh, he came out around in 630 something BC. What are you reciting? Because before he came up with this plagiarism, they were worshiping other gods. And that's what a lot of Muslims know. They were following all these other deities. They were no different than every other religion out there besides us, the Hebrews. See, go ahead.
The Arabs possessed 360 idols, one for each day of the year.
Right. Go ahead.
Muhammad was born 570 AD.
Mm-hmm.
That's after the death of Yahushua.
Right.
570 years after Khan.
You got to think about this. So the Bible the Quran just came about. Christ already laid the tracks and everything, and you got somebody that what? I'm going to take the Bible and I'm going to steal ideas from the Bible. Oh, an angel came to Gabriel, came to Mary. Shit. Gabriel came to me too. Y'all think it's funny? Watch. Go ahead, read on. Go ahead. I didn't want to go through here and read all this, but we're going to have to. Go ahead. Read.
Muhammad was born 570 AD, 4 years after the death of Emperor Justinian. He was descended from the tribe of Koresh and the family of Hashem. His mentality was prodigious. In his youth, he was never taught to read or write, but his imagination was superlative. Right. Muhammad was an extraordinary, handsome man, and elegant and motivated men with the power of words.
Okay, jump. So we're gonna go over here to chapter 46. It says Muhammad spent many days in the hills outside of Mecca. He was immersed deeply in the deplorable condition of his people, and he wanted to lead them from moral and what is this? Turpitude and idolatry. So what were they doing? Go to Psalms 95 and 96 and 5.
I got stuck on when you said that the Quran has nothing to do with us because I grew up with my dad actually following the Quran.
Right.
And when the questions that I would ask, well, what does the Quran have to say about the slave trade, how we got here? There's nothing in there for them. There's nothing in there for us to explain. Like we could go to Deuteronomy 28 and show our disobedience got us here. But there's nothing speaking about what happened to us the Latinos and Native Americans in that book. So why are we subscribing to Islam?
Right.
It has nothing to do with us.
Exactly. Go to Psalms 96, verse 4 and 5. And we're going to go here again when we go over this cobblestone, but we're just jumping a little bit. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 96, verse 4.
Go ahead.
For the Most High is great and greatly to be praised.
Go ahead.
For he is to be feared above all gods.
Go ahead.
For all the gods of the nations are idols.
See? What was everybody worshiping?
Idols.
They were worshiping, their God is the cobblestone. Now, there's tricks played with this cobblestone. Just a little bit of reading I've been doing and a little research. There's games with them. They playing games with this. Oh, we don't bow to that. Bruh, you circle that thing. You go all the way to Mecca to circle this stone. Because I was going through some Muslim chats, and they were like, no, we don't serve that. We believe in Allah. But they don't understand that what you're doing is bowing to an idol. You're bowing. You're doing nothing different than when it was before you got Islam, right? Because the idea is this. To be fair, they think Allah is the Most High, right? Now we know that word Allah in Hebrew just means power, right? It means it can be used as God. So they think Allah is God. That's what a part of them serve. But like Christianity, what's mingled in it? Idolatry.
Oh yeah, it tells us in the book that.
Yes.
Once again, from Satan's angels exposed.
Go ahead.
Page 93. It says, after bitter wars, Muhammad conquered Mecca in 630 AD. He cleared away all the idols except the black stone in the Kaaba.
Right, but we're jumping though. We're jumping way ahead. The point is this: they had other gods, right? They had idols. That was their gods. Right. So when you say, well, when it compares to, my point from the beginning was what? Abraham, right? Who did he serve? And who did Ishmael and all these other Arabs serve? Who did the Africans serve? Who did they serve?
I love more.
Many idols, right? Right. What about the Edomites? What about the Moabites? What about the Amalekites? What did they serve? They served idols, right? So let's jump back. Let's get to this. Come on, we're gonna jump back to the cobblestone. Go ahead.
Galatians?
Jump back to Galatians.
Galatians chapter 3 and verse 16.
Go ahead.
Now to Abraham and his seed
Go ahead.
were the promises made.
See, so the promises were made to us from the beginning. Go ahead.
He saith not, and to seeds.
Not a what?
And to seeds.
Right, because why is this important? Who caught that part? Why?
Because it's showing that it was through a specific bloodline.
Right, well, why does he say it's not of seeds? What's the point?
Because Abraham had Isaac and
Why does it say not of seeds? Yeah.
Because you have many nations.
There you go. Thank you. Right back to what the scripture said, that many nations were going to come out of him.
Right.
So he's going to show us not of all these seeds, but of what?
And it says, and to seeds as of many, but as of one.
Right.
And to thy seed, which is Christ.
Right. It says as of many, but as of one. Now this is a twofold meaning, right? Because it comes and says also, it says, and thy seed, we know Abraham, Isaac, but then also he said, and what it says, which is Christ. So it's a double meaning. Right? Because you had to be also in the spirit of Yahushua. You had to come, Yahushua came through that line, right? A whole nother topic we can go into. But the point is that not of many seeds. It was going to be a one seed. Right. Go to Romans 9 and 7. Go to Romans 9 and 7. So like I said, there's so much to unpack. It's like if we don't stay on one track, we're gonna be like in everywhere with this. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 9 and verse 7.
Go ahead.
Neither, because they are the seed of Abraham, are they all children.
So you see how Genesis 17 is important. But you're like, wait a minute. Well, of all nations, you're gonna have kings and all these people coming out of your seed. But the Most High made it very apparent and specific that it was going to come of what?
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
There you go. You see that? So Ishmael never had any connection to this, to be a prophet, to be a lawgiver, to be a teacher of the word. I'm throwing out some things to spark y'all brain. Like, it was never in here. So, he was the prophet. He was that prophet in Deuteronomy 15 and 15. No nations were ever given that, but Israelites. And like you said, we could go to the Quran and all that and say it, but how about the Bible? Like, what are you talking about? Show me in the Bible where it says that. You can never find it. Because the nations weren't given that power at all. Y'all see this? So Abraham skipped Ishmael, and the covenant was made with Isaac. Y'all get that? The scripture's showing us. Read that part again.
Neither, because they are the seed of Abraham, are they all children. But in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
But in Isaac shall thy seed be called. Not everybody, because listen, Esau came out of our seed too. Remember? You forgot him? Your evil twin? Who's the villain? All the villains in the 90s and the 80s were what? They were blonde. Lethal Weapon, oh boy, was blonde, Die Hard. Right? He's the villain. He's your evil twin. All jokes aside, he came from your seed as well. Right? Your line. But not of seed, but of one, which was of Isaac. Abraham had Isaac, and then Isaac had who? Jacob and Esau. Right? And then the Most High what? Romans 9 cuts out Esau. We're not on that topic tonight. We're on reminding that Ishmael was cut out in place for Isaac. Most High didn't want you to come from no bondwoman, right? Go ahead.
Verse 9.
Go ahead.
That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God.
They that are the children of the flesh is not the children of God. So, once again, twofold meaning there. All right, go back to Genesis 17.
Genesis chapter 17, verse 19.
Go ahead.
Second precept. And thou shalt call his name Isaac, and I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him.
Right, and with his seed after him. His seed. You understand? Go ahead.
And as for Ishmael.
All right, go back to Galatians 4 and 22. And we're gonna get back to this guy Ishmael, right? Which is the father of Muhammad. They come out of the Quraysh tribe. That's all fine and dandy, man. Go ahead.
Galatians chapter 4, verse 22. For it is written that Abraham had two sons.
Go ahead.
The one by a bondmaid, the other by a free woman.
Go ahead.
But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh.
See, it wasn't in the spirit. It was never going to be about Ishmael. It was like, right, the end, right? We should just close the book. Why? Once again, my point is, why are we even having this conversation? Like, that's why when I get into it with Muslims, I'm like, bruh, that's if you're an Israelite, like, okay, that's a religion, brother. We're trying to bring you back to your nationality. That's no different than what? Christianity. That's no different than Buddhism. No different than being a Hindu, right? They ain't got nothing to do with us. And all of those happen to be what? God's religions were idols. Wood and stone, exactly. So the Most High's telling us here, go ahead.
But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh.
Right.
But he of the free woman was by promise.
Was by promise. See, it was always written, meant in the spirit for it to be up to Isaac. Y'all get this? Go ahead.
Which things are an allegory.
Right, it's an allegory. Once again, read that part again. Go ahead.
Which things are an allegory.
Uh-huh.
For these are the two covenants.
Right.
The one from the Mount Sinai, which gendereth to bondage.
Right.
Which is a God.
Bruh, are y'all not listening? The Most High is calling them slaves.
God.
Servants. Right? And that's an allegory in itself, because are they not going to serve as well? Go ahead.
For this of God is Mount Sinai in Arabia.
Read.
And answereth to Jerusalem.
They answer to who?
To Jerusalem.
If you want to be a prophet, first of all, you got to come to us. What? What's up?
It states it.
Yeah, it states it, right? Where I don't got the Quran. I didn't bring it because I knew I wasn't going to be able to go into all that this time. I was like, we'll do another one and then go into those different verses we can kill them with in the Quran. Yeah, Zion gave you the list of those, right? But it's important for y'all to know, for the sister to ask a question, and whoever that doesn't know, is literally in our book, we can kill them here. Remind them, like if you just went to here and said, wait a minute, bro, it says you guys genders to the bondage, captivity. You answer to us. What are you talking about? Got nothing to say, right? Go ahead.
And answer to Jerusalem.
Right, you answer to Jerusalem. Go ahead.
Which now is.
Right.
And is in bondage with her children.
Right. So go back. So we get that, right? Okay, let's go back. Let's finish up Genesis 17.
Genesis 17 and verse 20.
Go ahead.
And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee.
And as for Ishmael, Abraham's a righteous man. It's still his son. Right? It's still his son, y'all. Huh? You get that? Disobedient, disrespectful. Yeah. In this case, I'm not saying that's what we're seeing here. What I'm saying is, you get that son that is not looked at the same way, right? Well, the Most High didn't look at Ishmael like that, right? And he wanted Abraham to understand that. I'm not looking at Ishmael like that. I get it. He's your firstborn, but he is not going to be given the covenant. Go ahead.
I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him.
Right.
And will make him fruitful.
Right. To the point the brother made. He's blessed. Is he not? Do you know how much of the world's wealth and oil they owe? And how many countries? Right? These cats are, they right up there with Esau, man. You're talking about billions. And there's these Arab countries, man, they run a lot of the world's wealth, man. Man, what was the one country? Y'all remember they're pirating? It's out of our one country that Iran is messing with. These cats, the Iranians, right? They funneling money to these terrorists. They got money. You know what Esau do? Esau go and shut down their accounts. That's what they did to the president of Iran. They shut down his account. Yeah, I was watching this whole thing on it maybe a few months back, and the person that was interviewing him were like, well, did they open up your accounts? He said, we're working on that. You know what I mean? That's Esau. You can have all the money in the world. Esau got the dang credit card companies unlocked. Right? And they got all the other nations with him. But Ishmael is a blessed people. They're rich people. It's sad how they do their people. Like when you look at Gaza, well, you know what? and it had me rethinking about the people of Gaza. Like, are these cats Arabs or Canaanites? You know what I mean? Yeah, because now I'm not saying they are the original Gazans, because we know Gaza goes back to Ham, right? It goes back to the Philistines. So I was like, wait a minute. I'm wondering, man, if these guys are a little bit, I mean, you got to do a lot of history on them, right? Are they really the Gazans or the Philistines that come out of Ham? But, because at first, I don't know about y'all, but I thought they were Arabs. Because they were a Muslim.
They proclaim to be Arabs.
They proclaim to be Arabs, right?
Africa got a lot of Muslims.
Yeah, and that's what, huh? Yeah, oh yeah, bruh. The Islam is widespread through the world.
Second biggest religion.
Yeah, second biggest religion, exactly. But you know, no, I was just saying about that damn, yeah, you got all these wealthy countries that can actually get them out of that condition, but you know, wealthy Arab countries, and they're not really doing nothing for them. The Saudis, they don't want to be involved with it. Right, because you got connections to America, you got agreements with America, so you ain't outwardly speaking on what's going on with the Gazans. Yeah, remember recently one of the wives of the Saudis, she spoke out. Did y'all see that interview? Y'all gotta watch this stuff. But yeah, she was one of them that spoke out, but it was never the men. They're never going at this nation like, look, the Israelis. Why? Because the Saudis is working with America. The Israelis is working with America. You're going to mess up relations. It's all about money. But the point is that they got the money. They've been blessed with that. So the blessing is riches, but it's not the covenant. That was made clear. It was not, oh, you're going to get this land. The land flowing with milk and honey. No, that was to the Israelites, right? Go ahead.
And will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly.
Right. Go there real quick. Just on this point of the covenant real quick. Jump back a little bit. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. Psalm 78 and 5. So, once again, a basic introduction. You know me, when I come up with these topics, I try to come up with the most basic way to give it to you, because I want you to be able to, oh yeah, that sounds easy. I want it to sound so basic, it's so easy where you can go ahead, go over it, articulate it to somebody else. So that's what I wanted to do for the sister LaShawn, is that this is an easy one, because she was like, man, I'm up here in Cali, she's up in Fresno. She's up in Fresno now. She's like, man, they out here, these Muslims, and could you do a Muslim class? I'm like, John, you know, but remember, that genders to Arabs, not Hebrews. Right. So all you got to do is go back and show them, look, your God has never been a stone. It's never been idols. From day one, Abraham never believed in anything in Mesopotamia. That's why the Most High took him out of that land. He's like, get you out of this land, right? He never had idols growing up with his family, right? You never hear that about him. So he was the one faithful man that didn't believe in the sun, the moon, the stars. He believed in the power that created all these things. All right, read that.
Psalm chapter 147, verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob.
Right.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
See? So the covenants, the statutes, the promises, right, were made for who?
Israel. Unto Israel.
Who, guys?
Israel.
All right, no, it's a Shabbat. We're going to go home already. But Israel. Go ahead.
He hath not dealt so with any nation.
Period. He has not dealt with any nation this way. So, I mean, I think it's really simplistic and clear that just from a basic 2 chapters, that the Most High ain't dealing in no way uplifted the Arabs to be the people of the Most High one, or to be the people, we're going to get into this too. I forgot. The people that speaks the word of the Most High. You cannot find in the Bible where there was going to be a prophet of the other nations. You can't find that. You're never going to find that. The Most High didn't choose them. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and judgments unto Israel. He didn't deal with anybody else. Right? Go ahead.
And as for his judgments, they have not known them.
Yeah, that's why the Quran, it tells you in here, where hand me this one right here. This cat, even I'm saying he's an Edomite. I'm saying this cat that wrote the books of Edomite, but he tells you about the Quran. He says it here today. He makes a statement about the Quran, man. It's so funny. Is it 89? Discussing. Yeah. So this is this book again. Satan's Angels Exposed, page 95. The Sunnites develop a system with 4 bases. First, the Quran, meaning a reading or discourse. So they had to set up a system for this. Why? Because there is no system. There's no system or format to the Quran. It's like you damn reading a book of affirmations. The damn 148 laws, or what is it? 48 laws of power. 48 laws of power, right? You got no moral laws. You got no civil laws. You got no dietary laws. You got no ceremonial laws. Right? There's no structured organization to the Quran. So what they had to do is, after Muhammad left, they compiled his sayings, and then what they did is start to structure them. Because there was no real structure behind it. That's how you know it wasn't of the Spirit of the Most High. When you read the Bible, come on now. Look at how the Bible is written. Look at the order the Most High put in the Bible. Right? Think about this. The Quran, meaning reading or discourse, these were fragmentary discourses dictated by Muhammad over 23 years, written on a parchment, palm leaves, and bones. God, bones. No collection of these fragments were made until after Muhammad's death. To non-Muslims, the Quran has no semblance. Listen, the Quran has no semblance of order and is repetitious. You know how when us as men, we start repeating ourselves? Come on, man. The Bible's laid out history, right? Archaeology, right? The stories even have content and meaning. The stories, you can even see how the Most High put it together. It couldn't be made up. It was soon discovered that the Quran did not listen to this. You want to hear the gut puncher? You want to hear the gut puncher? When I read this, I was like, come on, man. It says it did not deal with many problems the followers faced. It's pointless. It's a man that wanted to adopt. Listen, let's go back there. Come on, let's go back. I told y'all we was gonna get into this. It wasn't gonna be that simple. We weren't just gonna let off on this guy that easy. Go back to where, man, Muhammad, when he first started to see, back to the idol part. Okay, this is page 49 in the 2 Babylons, right? Muhammad tried to construct his religion as closely as he could after the Jewish religion, the Jews' religion. he favored the Jews by accepting many of their laws and tradition. The only so what? They don't eat pork. They eat everything else. You big dummy. This guy got. You can eat shrimp, crab, lobster, camel. You know what's in the hump of the camel? Piss. Piss. It houses the dead piss of the camel, right? It says he favored the Jew religion by accepting their laws and tradition. When the Jews refused to be converted, he commanded his followers to stop turning to the holy city of Jerusalem in prayer. Why did they turn to the east? Because it was originally to Jerusalem. He said, but rather to turn to the city of Mecca. He changed the Jewish Yom Kippur, or the Day of Atonement, or fast day, which he accepted for the month of Ramadan. You biting. You biting, bruh. It's all plagiarism, y'all. And the thing is this. When you're studying and you got the Bible down and you actually got a little bit of time and you want to hear some poetry, some very whack poetry. I know they're gonna throw that Molotov cocktail through the window. It says, which had accepted the month of Ramadan. Muhammad changed the Jews' Sabbath from Saturday to Friday. Sabbath is Friday sundown to Saturday, right? Our days. Like, you didn't even understand that concept. A day began when the sun down, right? It says, we have another parallel. With Christianity. And in the 4th century, the church changed the Sabbath. Okay, no. So we got that. Yeah. Which one? Oh, right. Okay. I guess let me read down. In the 4th century, the church changed the Sabbath to Sunday, which we know they did, and recognized its calendar to make Easter separate of Passover like Christianity. Also, Muhammad included in his Bible, the Quran, what's that? Accusations concerning the Jews. Nevertheless, the Quran glorifies many biblical personalities.
They always try to, they don't speak bad about it,
right?
When we read Isaiah 36, what is it, 36 to 10?
Yeah.
It tells us that none shall want his mate, but they don't do that. They don't stand on their Quran by itself.
Nah.
Like we stand on the Bible. They say, oh yeah, no, well the Bible, it's some good things in the Bible. It says about Moshe. Yeah. About Moses, yeah.
Or Easter, or Christ.
Abraham, yeah.
Yeah, then they try to put Christ on the level of Muhammad. Yeah. Right? Muhammad ain't never gave his life. Right? So y'all see that, right? And these two is really not a lot in this Babylon and Timbuktu, but what it does give is meaning. And then it kind of extends it over here in this book. All right. But I really thought that was really, really cold how he said here, it didn't solve no problems. It didn't solve no problems. The Bible, you got anxiety? Let's go to the scriptures. Let's talk about it. Well, go ahead.
Now, when you think about it, that's the whole reason why people join a religion.
Yeah.
Is to get their issues solved.
Right.
Or come to some type of relief.
Right.
And they're not even getting any relief over there.
Yeah, that's how you know the whole carnal aspect of what it is to be a Muslim. I can go ahead and cover my head. You can dress in all black all you want. But you still, when you take all that stuff off, you what? Your mind and your spirit ain't right. Now, a testament to what we're not supposed to be. You see, that's what, when you look at religion, religious people don't really know how to embody the spirituality of what the Most High is trying to show us. Right? So we got to transition from that. Oh yeah, I'm putting on the physical, carnal things. You know what I mean? But a lot of these Muslim women, they just I was gonna say something. They don't carry themselves like godly women. You know what I mean? They freaks, right? Go ahead.
Nah, I was just talking to one in the mall the other day. She's like, she's from Jersey or something, but she's in the whole thing, and she is part of the military. But she's explaining to me like how they think they be talking about me with this song, but they don't know I'm still a nigga. I mean, I'll beat somebody, I'll beat them up and do all this. She's like moving like a whole dude and everything. Yeah. And she's like, I'm really a nigga though. Right. They don't know that, but I'm a lady. But she's like going both sides.
It's almost like when not having Christ, you're never going to get the spiritual aspect. Christ, the New Testament came and laid down the spiritual part of what we didn't get in the Old Testament. Right. So, because you deny Christ, like the so-called Jews do, or the Muslims, right? They're not getting that. All they're getting is what? Repetition. So what? You pray 5 times a day. Right. That don't mean nothing. Yeah. That doesn't mean nothing. First of all, if you go back to the Babylon, it tells you in there, they did it 5 because we did it 3 times. So they want to what? They want to, y'all go 3, we gonna go 5. Bruh, the scriptures say pray without ceasing. Right. So it doesn't, we praying all the time. Everything we do, we're praying. When we wake up, when we eat, when we walking, when we look at the sun, the moon, the stars, when you see your child walking, you're like, Barakatayah, Bashimi Al-Shai, right? Everything is a prayer. But, you know, that's the mind of somebody trying to copy, right? Bite. Yeah, they trying to bite you, right? Go ahead. Go ahead. Where are you at?
Psalm chapter 78 and verse 5.
Right, go ahead.
For he established a testimony in Jacob.
Right.
And appointed a law in Israel.
Back to this. The laws were solutions to the problems. Right? Adultery, murder, killing, falsely accusing someone. Right? Literally, biblically, you have every aspect and structure of how to guide your life. And when you go to the spiritual aspect and all these new age things that are not new, the anxiety, the fear, the depression, right? All those things, the Most High got a solution for it. You can go right through the Bible and dice all that up. That's why, go ahead, read Psalm 78 and 5. Where you at? Psalm 78 and 5? We read Psalms 147, 19. Go to Baruch 4 and 1 real quick. Go to Baruch 4 and 1. Just to show us, man, what is the difference between the Quran and the Bible, right? First of all, go ahead, read that. Come on.
Baruch chapter 4, verse 1.
Go ahead.
This is the book of the commandments of the Most High.
Go ahead.
And the law that endureth forever.
The law endures forever. Go ahead.
All they that keep it shall come to life. But such as leave it shall die.
Read.
Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it.
Read.
Walk in the presence of the light thereof.
Go ahead.
That thou mayest be illuminated.
Right. This is the real illumination. Oh, God. This is the only thing that's going to illuminate that third eye, that spiritual eye. Right? And give you everything to solve your problems. But because when you plagiarize something and really the angel ain't with you, the spirit ain't with you, what's going to happen? The Most High ain't with you. You're not going to be able to structure your brain the proper way to articulate. To articulate something from the spirit. You want to claim an angel came from you? So this is the best way you can articulate yourself of the spirit of the Most High through the Quran. And it's a bad plagiarism. It is bad. They could have just stepped with the Bible and humbled themselves to that. Right? Which they are. You finished that? Okay. So let's go back. Let's go back and finish it up. 17. Get that out of the way.
Genesis 17 verse 20.
Yeah, last precept. What you got? I don't know.
The last part of Psalms 147.
Go ahead, finish it.
Praise ye the Lord.
Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh. All right, go ahead, Go ahead.
It says, 12 princes shall he beget.
Go ahead.
And I will make him a great nation.
Right.
But my covenant will I establish with Isaac.
My covenant will I establish with Isaac. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they have not dealt so with any nation. Right? Go ahead.
Which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this said time in the next year.
Right. So it was going to be a covenant with Isaac. That's why, who did the Most High establish the covenant with? The covenant? The contracts? Where am I going? The promises? Anybody? Romans 9. Let's go there. Go to Romans 9. The service? Right. Go to Romans 9. Romans 9 and 4, and then we're going to go to Hebrews. We're going to jump over a little Hebrews. Go ahead.
Romans chapter 9, verse 4.
Go ahead.
Who are Israelites?
Right.
To whom pertaineth the...
I'm sorry. Where you at?
Romans chapter 9, verse 4.
3.
Verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren.
Right.
My kinsmen according to the flesh.
Go ahead.
Who are Israelites.
Go ahead.
To whom pertaineth the adoption.
So he goes through the list. First of all, that's a whole class we got to go over. Adopted. When you were adopted back,
Right.
it wasn't to the nations being adopted in.
Right.
The adoption pertains to you. Go ahead.
And the glory.
And the glory. All the sitting on thrones and Esau looking between your toes. And there's much more glorious things than Edomite licking your toes. Trust me. Go ahead.
And the covenants.
And the covenants. Right? The contracts. Why did it say covenants with an S? Because he came back and said, this covenant ye broke.
Right.
But he came back and with what? A new covenant. Jeremiah 31, he said, I'll make a new covenant with them. Go ahead.
And the giving of the law.
And the what?
And the giving of the law.
That sounds like you're a prophet then. A teacher of the word. Who did he give that to? We just read it, right? To who?
Who are Israelites.
Who are who?
Who are Israelites.
Who are Israelites. So the law giving, let's ask ourselves, was Muhammad going to be a messenger of the Most High? How do we know Muhammad lied his ass off? How? Show me anywhere in the Bible where the Most High chose a heathen to be a prophet. Huh? Anybody? So why are we talking about this? You see my point? Like, why is this even a conversation? Bro, the Most High said you were in bondage. You speak for, you got to answer to us, right? So he said the law was given to us. Who did he choose? Let's go there. Go to Hebrews 5 and 1. Then we're going to go to Exodus 28 and 1. He said, who were the prophets? Who were the, right. Okay, we're going to go to that one after this one. Go to Hebrews 5 and 1. Read that.
Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
For every high priest taken from among men,
right, is
ordained for men in things pertaining to the Most High.
Who was ordained? Huh? What? Really? Who was ordained? What nation was ordained to teach this word? You remember that word? You're an ordained priest. Right? They like to run with that. Who was ordained? Could it be another nation? We already the word, already said, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. We just read that he said the promises, the laws pertain to us. So who was ordained? Israel. It wasn't, there's no way on the earth the Most High was going to send the angel Gabriel for him to give us a spin-off of something that that was a bad spin-off of the Bible.
One season.
A bad plagiarized book. Right? We could have just dealt with Socrates and Beethoven and Plato. We could have dealt with the crappy ass sayings the forefathers of America came up with. You know what I mean? An affirmation book. I know, I'm going in on it. Nah, you know why? Because this is literally pointless to me. I'm like, the Most High never said nothing about no Muhammad. The Most High never said nothing about this nation, right? Promoting or teaching the laws of the Most High. Right, go there. Go to, where you at?
Amos chapter 2, verse 11. I mean, I love the way that the brothers bringing it out without even touching their book. Because once again, when you go to them, they'll talk, oh, the Bible is good, the Bible is good. Well, let's read the Bible. When you talk about this prophet that doesn't come from the seed of Isaac. No, sorry, he wasn't the chosen seed of Abraham.
Right.
Because it was Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Where did the prophets come from? Read that.
It's Amos chapter 2, verse 11.
Go ahead.
And I raise up of your sons for prophets, and of your young men for Nazarites. Is it not even thus, O ye children of Israel?
Or the children of who?
Of Israel?
Right. Muhammad does not belong to the children of Israel. He's the children of Ishmael. So you can't take on this title as a prophet. This is not something that you could just, I'm going to cast a ballot and now I'm going to ordain myself a prophet. This is a bloodline covenant that you can associate with. That right there, when you tell me that you believe in the Bible, let's talk about your prophet, your so-called prophet. Mm-hmm. Does he descend from the children of Israel? No? Okay, case closed. Case closed.
Why are we talking?
Case closed.
Amos what?
Amos 2 and 11.
Yeah. Y'all got that? Or read it again.
And I raise up of your sons for prophets, and of your young men for Nazarites.
Right.
Is it not even thus, O ye children of Israel?
Check that out. So we see, go to Leviticus real quick. Oh, you done?
No, that's it.
Okay, go to Leviticus Exodus 28 and 1.
Come. Exodus chapter 28 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother, and his sons with him.
Right.
From among the children of Israel.
Well, wait a minute, among the Arabs?
Among the children of Israel.
No. Go to the Sunnis.
From among the children of Israel.
Like I said, I don't even know why this is a conversation. Like, among the children of Israel, the Most High, like, this is so basic. We're like, to me, it's like, this is so basic when dealing with these people, or when dealing with the Quran. So, where are you speaking from? Where did the Most High, I'm throwing this out at you. So, y'all can have as many as thoughts in your head when combating these things. What were the prophets going to speak from? Like, think about it. If you just put these basic things together, you can dice this madness up. What were the prophets going to speak from? What were they going to speak from? Everybody's looking at me.
Speak from?
Yeah, what were the prophets going to speak from, y'all?
We're going to speak from the word.
Right. They were going to speak from the what?
The Lord.
What?
Come on, y'all know these scriptures. It's basic. Give me the scripture.
Come, Amos.
What is it?
Amos chapter 3, verse 2.
Okay.
You only have I known of
No, that's not it. That's not it. Good try, Gunner. Good try. That was a good one. That's not it. What is it? Come on, let's hit him with the bat.
It's in Isaiah.
What?
I got one to say.
God, the second Ezra's guy. Hey, let's go. Go ahead. What you got?
is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 15 and verse 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Most High.
I like that one. I like that one because we're going to hold that one. That's perfect. What you got?
Isaiah chapter 8 and verse 20.
There you go. What were the prophets going to speak? Read that.
To the law and to the testimony.
Go ahead.
If they speak not according to this word.
This word, it tells you what the word is. The law and the testimony.
Right.
You ain't got the law of the Most High in no Quran, bro. What's your problem? You don't have the law of the Most High in the Quran. That's the Jews' law. Right? I had to jump way ahead of my point, too. I'm just jumping all around. That was good, but read that again.
To the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
There's no light in them. He wasn't speaking. Hold where you're at. Let me get this point out. Because literally I'm on my third point, and I'm at my second point. Let's get the second point out of the way. The prophets and the priests were who? Israelites. There's no time, no other nation was chose to be the prophets and the priests. I jumped ahead on what they're going to speak. Pause. Let's go back. Let's jump back. Go to Exodus 20:81, Exodus 29:1, and then we'll go to 1 Peter's. Then we'll go into that third point, finishing it up. All right. Go ahead, read that.
Exodus chapter 28 and verse 1. And take thou unto thee Aaron thy brother,
right,
and his sons with him,
right,
from among the children of Israel.
Right. Go to Exodus 29:1. Somebody go to Exodus 29:1. So we get that, right? The priests, the prophets were going to be of the children of Israel. So it's at no time where God chose the children of Ishmael to be prophets, priests, or the people of the Most High. At no time. Once again, I know a lot of y'all know this, but for the sister, she needed this ammo, right? And a lot of us need a refresher to know how to deal with this Ishmael, Arab, Quran, right? Now, as far as the history, you can go into the history about them and what they believe, and just talking about this. Me and Quatazat were talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah, well, you got different Qurans, and then you got who can interpret this Quran?" And I'm like, "Well, it's kind of pointless to go in their book and try to break down these scriptures."
They got a book for their book.
They got a book for their book.
They got the hadiths.
Yeah, they got. That's what he was talking about. The hadiths.
The hadiths more than they follow the Quran.
Right, the hadiths is an interpretation of their book. So unless you
they got two interpretations of the original book.
Right. Why? Because the dummy that wrote it did.
He had to correct what he was talking about.
Damn. May he rest in peace.
Right. Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 29 and verse 1.
I had to delete this video. These cats are no joke. They fanatics, man. Go ahead.
And this is the thing that thou shalt do unto them to hallow them.
Go ahead.
To minister unto me in the priest's office.
Right.
Take one young bullock.
Right. This is what we were going to do when we pull aside the priests from the Levites from among the children of Israel. Right? Read that again.
And this is the thing that thou shalt do unto...
This is 29:1?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
And this is the thing that thou shalt do unto them, to hallow them,
right?
To minister unto me in the priest's office.
That is us. We were the ministers. We were the ordaining. We were the prophets. Right? So I wanted to get those different words. And he brought up the prophet one. Right? We're the prophets. We're the ministers. We're the lawgivers. Y'all get that? Okay.
And I like this because it's saying that you couldn't just set yourself up.
Right.
Somebody had to pick you and then put you through a process. This guy just came out the wilderness and then ordained himself to be a prophet. Don't work like that. Somebody has to be able to account for you. And that's what our law is about. Our law is about accountability, which can help you. And we just read how that Quran is not profitable. Why? Because there's no standard for a man to live. Right? There's no standard how he raises his household, how he values and treats his woman. Because when you get into how they treat their woman, forget about it.
They're terrible.
Yeah.
Now, even when you read in that Nehemiah, when you read in Nehemiah, a couple of the dudes that couldn't prove their lineage, they got kicked out of the priesthood because they couldn't prove their father's house.
Oh yeah. Well, they were. It was no joke.
Right. This is not like Christianity where you could just wake up, or Islam. You could just wake up one day and say, "No, I'm not following the customs of my family. I'm not going to be a Buddhist. I'm going to be a Muslim."
They got our people thinking that though. They got our people thinking that they can denounce their identity, their nationality. Well, yeah, I used to be Hebrew Israelite. This isn't a religion, brother. You was born a Hebrew Israelite. You're gonna die one, a dumb one, saying that. Right? Go ahead.
Come. Take one young bullock and 2 rams.
Okay, so we get that. Go to 1 Peter 2:9. The point of those 2 verses was to show that the Most High chose a priest amongst the children of Israel out of the tribe of Levi, right? And we can go for days on those basics, right? Like we can keep adding basic precepts to show that, and that's what you should do. Go back and say, okay, what other precepts add with these 3, 4, right? Add those, and that way you can have that armor. Go ahead. 1 Peter 2:9.
1 Peter chapter 2 verse 9.
Go ahead.
But ye are a chosen generation,
right?
A royal priesthood.
He ordained us as the priests. We're the priests. We're the leaders. When he said, "I ordained you from the belly," right? I chose you from the belly. What was Jeremiah?
Israelite.
He was an Israelite. Exactly. Go ahead.
And holy nation.
Right. A holy nation. Go ahead.
And peculiar people.
Right. See, not only was it going to be one tribe, the Most High was going to extend that to all the tribes. We were going to teach all the nations.
Right.
And I didn't want to throw all of that stuff in here. We'd be here all night. It never says in the future, like, when the world ends, it's going to be the Arabs teaching the nations. It said you're going to go to Israel.
Yeah, we don't need no help. We got this.
Yeah, there's so many ways you can kill them. Yeah. And I was like, man, how do I just make this simple? Because, I'll be jumping everywhere when dealing with that, with them. It's like, I can go in my head just through so many basics just to show them, like, no, that's not what the Bible says. That's what you think. But according to the Bible, this is it. Let's talk about this in the future. Who are nations going to bow to? Yahushua and Muhammad, right? Hell no. Do you see that? Like, you even could take them into that subject and say, okay, what's the prophecy? Right? It says God, Christ, and it said the 12 tribes of Israel. Show me where it says is that Muhammad and the 12 princes, the princes of Alibaba. Show me. No, I mean, once again, this is like so basic that you can just go through, but you got to establish this. Genesis 16 and 17 is very important. I know we're making fun of it because to me it is a joke. It is a joke for our people. I'm going to say this once again. For our people, the 12 tribes of Israel, to worship and serve gods of other nations. We believe in the one true God, right? And that one true God, we don't need an image. We don't need an idol. We don't need a cross. We don't need a tree. We don't need a trinket, a crescent. We don't need none of that. We know He is. Right? So we don't have to have none of that. Right? So where are we at now? First, you finished that, right?
No, sir.
Go ahead, finish it up.
That ye should show forth the praises of Him who have called you out of darkness into His marvelous light.
Right. So let's deal with this. Let's deal with this cobblestone. So let's deal with the cobblestone. Okay, so the Kaaba in I was going to say Ishmaelite in Arabic means house of God. Oh, but that ain't God? No, like you say your church, like God's in your church. No, we don't say that. You got us twisted. That's Christianity. The Most High is in us, except he be reprobate. Right? Huh? This is right. The Most High is everywhere. So, but anyway, Kaaba, the Kaaba stone. Okay, where is it at? So, it's a black stone. Is seen through a portal in the Kaaba. Okay, the stone was venerated at the Kaaba in pre-Islamic pagan times. According to Islamic tradition, it is set intact into the Kaaba's wall of the Islamic, by the Islamic prophet Muhammad. Akim, do your history, do your research. First of all, there was 3. The first one, let me see, does it go in here? I don't even think I put that in there because it's pointless. But the first one, supposedly, guess who dealt with the first stone? Huh? No. It had to be Abraham.
I was about to say, don't let them.
They're going to tell you that the first stone Abraham had with the Kaaba.
That wouldn't even make sense.
And first of all, show me where. Yeah.
No,
K-A-B-B-A. So there was supposed to be 3 stones, but what it is that Muhammad was supposed to obtain the 3rd stone, right? I know, bro. He definitely think it was set attack. It says in 605 CE. 5 years before the first revelation, that's through Gabriel, right? Since then, it has been broken into fragments and is now cemented into silver frame in the side of the Kaaba. Its physical appearance is that of a fragmented dark rock, polished smooth by the hands of pilgrims. Islamic tradition holds that it fell from heaven as a guide. Oh, I'm sorry, correct me. The first one was Adam and Eve. It fell from heaven as a guide for Adam and Eve to build an altar. That must have been in Mecca, huh? But why you was first praying to Jerusalem then? Yeah. It has been often described as a meteorite. Okay? Muslim pilgrims circled the Kaaba as part of the Torah ritual during the Hajj, H-A-J-J, and many try to stop to kiss the black stone, emulating the kiss that Islamic tradition records that it received from Muhammad.
So everybody just laugh and they fight. If you haven't seen the videos, they like it's like New York City subway station, so they can go kiss this little glass that you're supposed to be able to see the daggone rock.
Now, here's the kicker. Go back. Remember I said we're going to revisit that Psalms 96? Go back there. It says here, wow, the black stone is revered. Islamic theologians emphasize that it has no divine significance and that its importance is historical in nature. Then why the hell do you go bow and kiss that damn stone? You got to think about that. That's foolish as hell. Who told you to do that? Now, first of all, the tradition is you're acting as though the stone has reverence. Read that again, Psalms 96, verse 4 and 5.
Psalms chapter 96, verse 4.
Somebody give me Jeremiah 2.
For the Most High is great,
Uh-huh.
and greatly to be praised.
Go ahead.
He is to be feared above all gods.
Uh-huh.
For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Most High made the heavens.
Right. See, all these nations, all these gods of the nations, where did this come from? It came from idolatry. It came from idolatry. This is page 93. You can, go to Jeremiah 2 and 26.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 26.
What you got?
Habakkuk? Habakkuk?
Okay.
I always butcher that.
Yeah, all right, we'll go to that one next. Read where you at.
Jeremiah chapter 2, verse 26.
Go ahead.
As the thief is esteemed when he is found,
Uh-huh.
so is the house of Israel ashamed.
And shame on you, brothers and sisters that bow to these other gods, that take your little pilgrimage to Mecca and go circle that stone and kiss it. Shame on you. You should be ashamed of yourself. Go ahead.
Their kings, their princes.
That's right, see? And this is what we was doing back in the days. When you call yourself a Muslim, you're doing the same thing as our wicked forefathers. Just no different when it says in Maccabees, many of the Israelites consented to their religion. Go ahead.
Their princes
And
their priests.
Read.
And their prophets.
Go ahead.
Saying to a stock.
Saying to a what?
A stock.
Go ahead.
Thou art my father.
Read.
And to a stone.
And to a what?
And to a stone.
I don't give a damn if it's a meteorite. The Most High never told us to bow, kiss, reverence, serve, go damn take a trip up to. He never said that to a stone. But this is what we were doing back in the day. Say to a what?
To a stone.
Go ahead.
Thou hast brought me forth.
Right. Thou hast brought me forth. And the original, because I know they'll argue with you. I was looking at this in their little chats and all that. They're like, well, we don't serve that. No. But you still give reverence to idolatry. Because the Most High never gave us these things. He never said for us to bow to any other gods but him. You have something? You was going to say something? Ooh, I see the hand.
I had a scripture.
Yeah. Hold those two. Let me read this and then we're going to go here and then there. All right? Go ahead. This is, once again in this book, it's page 93. It says, a bitter war, after bitter wars, Muhammad conquered Mecca in 630 AD. He cleared away all the idols except the black stone. Like, we know what the hell they're doing. You're trying to play games. We know what they're doing. Their whole belief was established on idolatry. This whole thing is established on idol worship. Right? You can play games all you want. But you still go up there to Mecca and you still take this pilgrimage. Right? It says, he cleared away all the idols except the black stone in the Kaaba, which is considered holy to this day by Muslims. From then on to this day, pilgrims must walk around the Kaaba 7 times and kiss and salute the black stone. The black stone, apparently a meteorite, was considered sacred and was built in the wall of the Kaaba. Right? It says the first days the Muslims adopted several of the Jewish rites. They prayed facing Jerusalem. Jews fasted. Fast days were observed. But when relations with the Jews became tense, Muslims were told to face Mecca. When they prayed, an annual pilgrimage to Mecca was also ordered. Then this was done because the Jews correctly so disputed the prophetic claim and questioned the accuracy of his own so-called vision. Yeah, where'd you get that from, huh? Who told you that? Right? So what did he do? This cat went to war, right? I'm jumping down. The climate of justice has pervaded down through the centuries and is one of the reasons for tension in the Middle East. In 630 AD, Muhammad proclaimed Mecca the holy city of Islam. He decreed that no unbeliever ever be allowed to set foot in its sacred soil. Right? What else I got on here on the Kaaba? I think that's it on the Kaaba stone. But just to show us, man, that this is nothing new. It's nothing new under heaven. With these stones and trees, it always comes back to those things, right? You have one first, and then we'll go to him. Go ahead. Why?
It's not needed.
You sure?
God.
Okay, where you at?
This is Deuteronomy, chapter 4, and verse 27. And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left in few, number among the heathen. Whither the Lord shall lead you, and there ye shall serve gods, the works of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell.
Right, and that's why we went into captivity. So I don't got nothing else on the Kaaba stone. I was looking for if they had like sacrifices. Yeah, it goes into other stuff. What you got? You have a hand? Yeah, what you got?
Deuteronomy chapter 13.
Go ahead.
1 through 2. Con. If there arise amongst you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and giveth thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign
Hey, go ahead.
Bring it out.
That's the proper ending now. But you gotta read it with some more power, right? Come on, right?
Yes, sir.
Bring it up. Come on, right? Come on.
And the sign or the wonder came to pass, whereof he spoke unto thee, saying, Let us go after other gods, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of their prophet, or the dreamer of dreams.
No, you weren't supposed to hearken unto the words of their prophet. Once again, a bad plagiarized book, right, that has nothing to do with your ancestry, your history, and who you are, right? We weren't supposed to listen to him. Go ahead.
For the Lord your God proveth you to know whether ye love the Lord your God.
And that Jeremiah 2, that shows that a lot of us follow this stupidity. You know what I mean? They really, you know, pull out their rag, pull out their, you know, I'm a Muslim, right? Who do they serve? Allah. Who is Allah? Because the original Allah was what? A stone. That's what they really originally served. And now it's transitional. We can't say that. We can't say we bow to a stone. Right? What you got?
God. This is 1 Corinthians 14, verse 37.
That was Tawaba. Perfect. Perfect. Go ahead.
If any man think himself to be a prophet or spiritual, let him acknowledge that the things I write unto you are the commandments of the Most High.
Right. See, so once again, I said it earlier, and I'm not going to have time to go into it. We'll go into this the second time. Right? What were they going to speak? We'll touch on that. We got time. You know what I mean? Like I said, it was just some basic class for the sisters so she could get kind of like a basic guideline how to go about this Muslim topic or the Arabs or that nation. That nation, let them have their gods. We got the true God, the true power. Okay, any questions on that? Yeah. How about Kirtland, Lashabara, Andrea? No questions on that? Okay. All right. Do we got any questions online? Huh? They get any Muslims in there? Getting at us?
God don't speak about Moshe.
Yeah.
That's why they add Moshe in there.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's it. Look, everybody. Passover is a week away, y'all. Brothers and sisters, we still need help. If y'all haven't drop. Don't forget. We need help. We don't got all the money for the lamb and all that. We're not doing our part. So let's get it up. Make sure y'all give. Yeah.
Yeah, how much were we supposed to drop on the lamb again?
Whatever you could give. It was $250, but whatever you could give. Like we need help. I asked him the other day how much he had. We got to come up with 4,000 and some change. Right? That's just on the part of the land. Right? If we were going to help out with the location, that's another thing. But could we at least do our part? Our part is the land.
Yeah.
Right? San Antonio got the location. We got to do our part. Right? So we for the sisters, brothers that have give, the water. But yeah, everybody else got to make sure you do your part and give. All right. Other than that, any other announcements? I can't wait to see y'all at the Pesach. It's gonna be a blast. Yeah. Well.
Now, who do we shoot the money to?
You can shoot the money to Zion.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Shoot it to Zion. Anything else? That's it? All right. Salute everybody online. Say shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shalom. We'll see y'all in the morning.